Nikola shares plunge after CEO says startup can go it alone. Nikola CEO downplays Badger's role, says always focused on heavy trucks, hydrogen infrastructure. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we are talking about Nikola, and it dropped recently because the CEO, Mark Russell, has said some things that are trying to comfort us in case everything they previously promised falls through. And Mark Russell is the replacement for our best friend Trevor Milton, who previously was the CEO and was accused of fraud and lying to investors. And Mark Russell came in supposedly to clean everything up and take everything in a new direction. But it seems like he's taking it from the same playbook and just gaslighting us and then telling us things that were in the plan they originally laid out were not actually in the plan or not as important as they said they were. Let's dive into this article and I'll give you my thoughts. And bonus content, if you guys stick around to the end, I'm actually going to show you how I'm making money off of predicting Nikola is going to drop using options. Nikola Corp shares fell as much as 10% in early trading Friday after the electric truck startup's chief executive officer says he sees a path for his company even if it can't come to terms with General Motors Corporation on a proposed strategic partnership. Okay, so he's putting it out in the world that the partnership might actually not come to fruition. But if you remember, and if let's look at the stock, what happened when they announced the partnership? The stock jumped from about $30 to almost $45, a 50% increase. How much did Nikola tout this partnership as showing that this gave them legitimacy and scale and the capabilities to do all these things that they promised, where previously they just had no chance because they had nothing. But GM actually is a company with factories and people that knows how to make stuff. Now, potentially that could be falling through. Talks between the two companies are ongoing, but if a tentative technology sharing and manufacturing deal announced last month falls apart, Nikola will revert to a base plan without GM's help, CEO Mark Russell said in an interview late Thursday. What was your base plan without GM's help? They haven't made an engine, they haven't made anything. The truck that they showed is made completely of other people's proprietary technologies. Sure, now they say they're an integrator, where before they said they were a vertical integrated company, that they would make everything in-house. But I digress. What is their base plan? Oh, you mean this base plan where they say we're committed to making trucks? Which is the same base plan they've said, where they conveniently completely dropped the Nikola Badger, which is what so many retail investors were really excited about. We have the ability and we have a base plan of doing it ourselves. If we have a partner that just enables us to consider going faster and helps reduce risk, we've proven that over the years, we are a partnership company when those things are available to us. First off, what have they proven? But he catches himself and says that they're a partnership company when they're available to us. He's not saying we're the best partnership company in the world, better than Amazon, better than Tesla. That's probably what Milton would say. He's saying we are a partnership company when people offer it to us. Having partners just helps us go faster and reduce risk. But go faster at what? You're not building anything. You're barely designing anything. Are you saying going faster at Photoshop? Are you going to hire a bunch of GM's design department? I feel like you could just go to DeviantArt for that to get some cool designs. You don't need to partner with like a whole company. And then this should really be the next nail in the coffin of a coffin that is already 30 feet underground. Russell said Nikola is prepared to drop the Badger truck if it can't secure an agreement with an original equipment manufacturer like GM. The Badger is part of our discussions with GM, and we've been clear all along that we wouldn't build a Badger without an OEM partner. Have they been that clear though? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they've probably said this, but at the same time, they've also said that the Badger is definitely coming this year, that it's something they're super excited about, that the prototype will definitely be ready by winter this year, and how convenient that it had to be canceled and we can't see anything due to the pandemic. Now let's take a look at the Yahoo article that goes more into depth on this. Russell sought to diminish the role Badger plays in the company's business, a stance diametrically opposite to Nikola founder and former executive chairman Trevor Milton, who had announced the truck in June, FT reported. The Badger was an interesting and exciting project to some shareholders, but our institutional shareholders are mostly focused on the business plan, Russell said. That's probably true. The people that initially invested were interested in the hydrogen technology and all the other things they had to say, and then everybody else that invested later, especially on Robinhood, was interested in the Badger. But just saying some shareholders is vastly downplaying how much excitement and how much money the Badger injected into the company. Nikola was one of the top 100 most traded companies, and I believe it still is, on all of the Robinhood platform. So you have a lot of shareholders that invested specifically for the Badger. And now you're saying, oh, it was never that important. Bullshit. The CEO added that Nikola's core business plan since before we became publicly listed always focused on heavy trucks and hydrogen infrastructure. Fine. Where is your infrastructure? You guys have been around for more than 4 years. And what have you built? What do you guys actually do? It's been so long that we have charging stations all around the US now. We have the million-mile battery from Tesla coming out soon, where we won't necessarily need hydrogen anymore. If we have a battery that can take us 600 miles or 1,000 miles, the trucks don't need to recharge. They can just recharge overnight or something. So they are losing the boat on this, and there's definitely no hydrogen infrastructure available right now, and they don't even have the money to do this. This is an incredibly large undertaking. Milton had pressed for the building of the truck in February, reasoning that the automaker had billions worth of technology in its semi-truck program, as reported by FT. Why it matters. The reduced focus on Badger is the latest attempt to steer the company away from Milton's policies, noted FT. Milton had pitched the Badger as a potent rival to the Ford Motor Company's F-150 and Tesla's Cybertruck. So he's completely backtracking on what Milton said, but I actually disagree that this is against Milton's policy. This is 100% aligned with Milton's policy of say one thing but do something completely different, of saying this is important and then saying it's not important, of just doing whatever it takes to calm your investors, no matter if it has an ounce of truth or not. Russell told Financial Times that all of Nikola's key targets, including the production of its first electric truck in partnership with Italian industrial vehicle company Iveco SPA later this year, will go ahead. The EV company earlier this month canceled an event in Arizona where it was set to unveil Badger, citing pandemic-related restrictions, as reported by CNET. So the other catalyst of me finally talking about this today was also because I can share some options strategy, and I can tell you how I'm going to make money off of Nikola. And what I did here is something called a call credit spread. So what this call credit spread contains is a long position at the strike price of $27.50 and a short position at the $20 strike price. And these are both calls. And how I make money, the moment I made this play, I got a $270 credit. So that was money into my account, and I would get to keep the max amount of credit as long as by the expiration date of November 6th, the share price is under $20. If the share price is anywhere in between this, I will be losing or gaining varying amounts of money. I also had to put $750 in collateral, and I would experience this max loss if the price were above $27.50 on its expiration date. Today, Nikola finally dropped 12%. People are catching on to what I've known for a long time now, that this is not a legitimate company, and it's still taking way too long. But I just want to remind everyone to look at this trend. What do you see? It looks like maybe a downward angle of some sort. But if you were to look on the micro scale of day to day, you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell that this is a company going under. There are parts where if you were to buy puts like here or here, which is kind of what I did, you're in for a rocky road. And the market does not care about your logic or facts. The market is built of people and some sketchy, shadowy individuals, but still enough people that it just doesn't follow logic because we are emotional creatures. And I started my credit spread around here and I was losing money. I was in negative $100 hovering in and out. And it's just an emotional roller coaster if you don't understand what you're in for. Nikola could say, don't worry, we'll try harder, and the stock could just bump back up again, which is essentially what happened here when they released this plan with a lot of awesome promises, but the worth of their promises is not positive. Essentially, I would consider it negative. If they promise something, there's probably a good chance that they're going to rescind on it. If that was helpful, if you want to learn more about options, listen to more Nikola T, or occasionally some funny sketches about companies I'm following, please hit that like button. It helps me tremendously. This is Green Knight Trading, where Squires become knights. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you soon.